Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I've no idea what happened to our first attempted recording. Its connection completely went. This is, of course, the Crypto Blast, where myself and Cam, mainly Cam, will provide you the ultimate roundup, rapid fire update on crypto markets. But before he does, I better get the legals out of the way. So, as usual, nothing discussed on this space of session constitute trading or investment advice or infers any kind of endorsement by PIQ or indeed the hosts, which, as you know by now, is Mr. Ryan Paisley, myself, and of course, the other one, Cam O'Connor.
Hello, hello.
I don't know. I apologize about that, mate. I have no idea what happened there.
That's right. X spaces to be expected.
Yeah, exactly. What's been occurring, my good friend?
Oh, just some news. I think it's a bit boring. I do apologise. I'm only joking. It's quite a lot happened. We've got on the agenda, I suppose we've got a little bit of price analysis to go through. We've got some new announcements from CME. We've even
Yeah.
got some hacks. Because what is crypto without people stealing money from each other?
Well, this is it. You did send me kind of a couple of bullet points, and I've got I've got a bone to pick with crypto when we get onto it. But yeah, go on. After you.
All right, let's jump into it. So, yesterday, Bitcoin traded at an inside day, bouncing 1% from last night's close of play. BTC is currently trading around $88,000 at the point of recording. Ethereum held the $2,000 mark yesterday, closing just 0.7% down on the day at $2,065. The price remains unchanged as we speak. Moving down the market cap list, Sol is trading at $144, XRP is at $2.46 and Doge is at 20%, actually seeing a 10% bounce toward the upside.
Oh,
And then BNB is trading at $632, remaining unchanged from yesterday. And moving across to the US Bitcoin spot ETFs, they saw a net inflow of $26.8 million, while the Ethereum spot ETFs recorded a total net outflow of $3.2 million. So still slightly on the smaller side of things, especially as to what we've seen over the last couple of months in trading volume wise. However, it seems to be picking up a little bit. Ethereum, again, a lot of the sentiment's quite negative, but when you look at the institutional side of things and the onboard, you're kind of wondering the price doesn't quite match what's the activity that's going on chain. So there's a few questions that hopefully we can get
okay.
answered in the coming weeks regarding that. And then let's jump into some news stories over the last
Yeah,
24
go for it.
hours.
Go for it.
BlackRock adds its blockchain-based money market fund to Solana. This brings the total chains to 7, joining the likes of Ethereum, Avalanche, Aptos, Polygon, Arbitrum One, OP Mainnet, and now Solana. Uh, a little bit of backstory. So, if you're unaware of what the BlackRock BUIDL fund is, you can head over to
Yeah,
my
no idea.
Substack and you can read all about it. But just you have to use your imagination because I put the article out yesterday morning, UK time around 8 o'clock in the morning, and by midday, not only had they added another 200 million plus to the fund, they also added another chain that you can get exposure on. So I was kind of like, oh, I guess I need to take this back to the drawing board,
Yeah, right.
do some editing before I publicize it. But anyway, it's out there. You can read it and you can learn all about it. Um, so a little fact about the BlackRock's BUIDL fund is that they started a year ago, and last year, in December time, they had around $600 million under assets under management, and this has grown from the beginning of March this year. So $600 million beginning of March this year to over 1.7 billion, the B, at the point of talking.
Oof. Yeah, I've just read your tweet and reposted it. Yeah,
Yeah,
lovely. Good
very
one.
kind of you. Yeah, awesome. Um, so yeah, there are huge demand there. Basically, it's just to gain access to T bills and overnight repo markets, getting that small yield. But you can access the fund with USDC. So
So it's a way for stable coin holders to get access to treasury markets, basically in
that's
short term.
exactly it.
Oh, look at that. The TLDR. Pick that out of nowhere. So also I think it's very, I guess it's one thing we've got to always say when we talk about BlackRock and the such like that this isn't BlackRock's money. This is BlackRock client money. And
Mhm.
there's a distinction there because same with Vanguard and stuff like that. Everyone's like, oh, Vanguard owns X percent of the stock market. They control the world. No, they don't. They're just a vessel for client funds. I think that's what you got to look into when we
Exactly
talk
that.
about BlackRock as well. Not saying that's a bad thing. In fact, you could argue, in fact, that that's a better thing because it's not just one person or one entity buying. They're buying on behalf of tens of thousands, if not millions, of accounts. So yeah, I think it's more of a positive when you explain it that way. But you have got to put the tinfoil fedora down, and it's not a big conspiracy that BlackRock own the world.
Yeah, no, exactly that. Like, it kind of gets my goat a little bit as well when you start seeing these news accounts posting BlackRock just bought $200 million worth of Bitcoin. Well, no, they didn't quite. The ETF, they require them to hold 1 for 1.
Yeah,
So if they've had a good day of buying,
yeah,
BlackRock have
exactly.
had to go to the market and purchase BTC to
Exactly
hold
that.
it.
Their
It
clients have bought,
exactly.
their account holders have bought. But yeah, no, absolutely. But
It doesn't
again,
read as well though, does it?
it doesn't
That's
read as well. But I genuinely think it's better because like I said,
Mhm.
it's more people with a stake in the game kind of thing rather than just like one entity. But yeah, we could talk about that for hours.
Exactly. Yeah. So jumping onto another news story from yesterday, GameStop announced that its board had unanimously approved an update to its investment policy to add Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. I think you both spoke about this on the morning blast, had to include it in there, wasn't going to do it, done it. Joke. I'm joking, of course. I'm all on top of this digital asset news. Clearly, the GameStop model of selling video games isn't quite working as well as they intended.
Right. So this is it. Okay, right. So this is the thing.
Go on.
This feels like the last ditch for a company to announce before they're like, okay, now we really do have to declare bankruptcy. Is like, what else? We put AI in front of our name, or we put AI in the name. We've added AI kind of R&D, unofficial, unofficial. What else can we
Yeah.
do to like get that final hurrah? Okay, we're going to buy some Bitcoin and then just
Yeah.
hope that they get a bounce in price, which they no doubt will. Um,
Yeah,
you know,
we're adopting the Bitcoin standard. Please invest loads of money into
yeah.
our company.
Exactly. And then hopefully that buys them, well, they're hoping that then buys them some time before that, that they can sort themselves out, sort their lives out, and then maybe avert bankruptcy. But if it doesn't work, I can't really see much else for them. But anyone buying GameStop as a longer term investment, I think you need to go get your head seen to quite frankly, because I think the only thesis for buying something like GameStop right now is that you hope someone buys it after you that you can sell into.
Yeah, exactly. So you're selling me there's hope for Blockbuster. This is what I'm hearing out of this.
That's exactly what I'm saying, my friend. That's exactly what I'm
Right.
saying.
Let's go resurrect the company. I don't know. All right. So moving on, we touched
Yeah,
on this
quick
story
swiftly
yesterday.
before we get
Yeah,
arrested.
yeah, exactly. But that before they steal our idea. I'm not sure which one's first.
Right?
So we touched on this story yesterday, but there's a little bit more of an update, so we'll rehash it. World Liberty Finance officially announced the release of its stablecoin USD1. We had an unofficial release basically 2 days ago where they put it to the blockchain. We all caught wind of the story because it's
Oh
not
yes,
on
no,
the
we saw
public.
that.
Yeah, exactly. But now World Liberty Finance officially announced that the stablecoin would be backed by short-term US government treasuries, US dollar deposits, and other cash equivalents. That always is a funny one.
Yeah.
Initially, yeah, go on.
No. It's like you said, it's like when it's a bit vague, it's like that's when the red flags start flying.
Yeah, exactly. It's like other cash equivalents. Okay, all right, interesting. Um,
Buttons.
initially, USD1 tokens will be minted on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain blockchains, but this is only the start. They plan to expand to other protocols in the future. No doubt Solana will get a little mention.
Yeah.
But for now, just ETH and Binance Smart Chain. So if you see it on any other protocols, red flag.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway.
Danger. Danger.
And then moving on to kind of, it wasn't shocking, but probably the biggest news story from yesterday. CME Group announced a partnership with Google Cloud to explore tokenization using Google Cloud's Universal Ledger. So the collaboration aims to test digital asset infrastructure for a more efficient clearing and settlement method. If successful, the plan is for potentially to go live for Q1 of 2026.
This, like I say, I think it's all right for meme coin punters and whatnot. This will be a very much a nothing burger. But I think for the general, again, crypto's not my strong point. That's why I get you on the show. But from a traditional markets participant hat on, I think this is, like you said, this is potentially very, very big news, because blockchain technology has been something that I'm not saying one of the rare use cases, because I don't want the maxis coming down my knocking on my door, but one of the kind of the clear use cases for blockchain technology was trading settlements and margins and stuff like that, and getting a real handle on what's going on, especially when you cross exchange settlements and stuff like that. So the fact that CME are now getting involved, like you said, I think could be massive. Obviously, got to say shout outs to CME, good friends of PIQ, one of our partners. But I think it should speed up the settlement process. It could also, like I said, enable a whole raft of inter-exchange fungibility. Look at me with the long words. So there's multiple bonds and stuff traded on this, the same bonds trade on multiple exchanges, potentially with the likes of blockchain coming in. This makes that whole settlement process a lot quicker. And one thing to note is CME Group, I'm legally obliged to say, when they do things, they tend to do things very right after a lot of consideration. So the fact that they've now gone public with this makes me think that they could be onto a big thing here. And like most exchange kind of ideas that we see, anything that seems like a good idea and one exchange goes for it, it's normally not long before other exchanges say, hold on a second, we've got to do that too. Now, whether or not it'll be through Google's token or blockchain or whatever it is, I'm not sure. But I think this is definitely the future, and definitely a very solid use case for blockchain. So just a quick question on this to you. So it's using Google's tokenization platform, is that correct? Or blockchain technology? Or
so it's using Google Cloud's Universal Ledger. So
right.
it's just access to their cloud and their ledger.
Right. So how does the ledger work then? Is it it's like blockchain tech, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I need to explore specifically because they're all slightly different.
Yeah.
I've not really gone into too much detail regarding Google Cloud's ledger, but that's something that we can do a little bit of research in and bring it up to an update
Well,
and
there
go,
you go.
actually,
And I
it
think,
is a little bit more information.
And I think, do you know what? That might be something that even CME might appreciate. Well, at least
So,
to give
hey,
out to
there we
people
go.
that are asking the same questions as we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And is that it from you? All good?
Oh, we got a
Oh,
few
go
more
on.
news
Sorry, I'm just
stories.
looking at our bullet
I
points that
mean,
you wrote to me. I forgot general news updates. Sorry, carry on.
It's all right. We can end it there if you want.
No,
That's
no, no,
it.
definitely not. Go for it. Go for it.
All right. So Fidelity filed for a spot Solana ETF for the CBOE, and then later Fidelity also announced plans to launch a stablecoin. And the next few stories are heavily stablecoin related. Circle minted an additional $250 million on the Solana chain yesterday, and they did that again this morning. So 500 million over the last 24-hour of
Lovely.
new supply. Exactly. This brings the total supply surpass the $60 billion market cap milestone. And that is doubled year on year. So a lot of demand coming in for Circle and their stablecoin there. It's interesting. The stablecoin topic's quite an interesting one because previously market structures were people looked to an increase in stablecoins because that typically meant that it would flow into Bitcoin, into the altcoin market. However, with new stablecoin legislation in play over here in Europe and soon to be in the US, we're seeing a lot of these companies, like BlackRock, that these stable coins are for settlement purposes or to get access to digital assets with that low volatility, stake it for yield, get a 10% a year. So that I would be cautious to everybody just to keep an open mind with as you're seeing the increase of stable coins and their market cap dominance increase. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to repeat the same as last in previous cycles,
Right.
quote unquote cycles in the history of blockchain. Just because of the demand and the use cases for stable coins is increasing. So there's a real use for them at the moment, and that's not necessarily filtering them down into different digital assets. So just one to keep in mind.
Yeah. Good caveat. Good caveat.
Polygon unfortunately faced a governance attack where a UMA tycoon holding 5 million tokens, which represented 25% of votes across 3 accounts, managed to manipulate the Oracle to settle a market with false results, so profiting from the outcome. This exposed some major vulnerabilities in the UMA's voting system. Now, Polygon did address this with a tweet this morning, basically saying, unfortunately, you're not going to get your money back because it wasn't an issue with the market itself. So anybody who was looking at this, I can't remember which trade exactly it was. I'm just having a little quick look because I did
So
have
whilst
a
you're having a quick look, then,
go
so
on.
it was a case of obviously Polymarket is an events gambling basically market. So it was a market where someone could manipulate the outcome to then make the money. Is that what it, or have I got this completely wrapped around my tits?
Yeah, on the back end, so on UMA who handle the transaction side of things, 25% of their voting rights were managed to be secured by 3 accounts, which was just one person, and they were able to manipulate the chart basically from their
Oh,
side, which was able they closed the bet down at something where it wasn't actually voted for. Looking at so Tanner, who works for Polymarket, released a public statement, and he said, "We're aware of the situation regarding the Ukraine rare earth market. This market resolved against the expectation of our users and clarification. Unfortunately, because this wasn't a market failure, we are not able to issue refunds."
well,
This is yeah, yeah, exactly. Go on.
well, it is clearly a market failure. This,
Yeah.
you know, this be very honest here. Yeah, that's gonna. I wonder how, because obviously, apparently they are, regulated now. I'd imagine they're going to get in a bit of shit for this. But yeah, to say it's not market related is complete BS. But it kind of, the weird odd thing is it follows on with like yesterday's crypto.com's burnt,
Hmm.
unburnt tokens. And now we've got Polymarket with markets settling, which aren't the market's fault. It's, yeah, it's just, it's not a great look, is it?
Yeah, no, exactly. They've not released a detailed statement as to what led to the person being at the 3 accounts being able to acquaint 25% of voting rights. Just having a little further read into it until I see some more updates. We can't get into any more specifics other than that. But I'm not sure their choice of words was very good because
No,
they said
I think
regarding the Ukrainian rare earth market, and then later on said we've been in the war rooms all day talking about this to see
oh
how it
god,
won't happen again. We
phrasing.
we won't talk about it for too long.
No, no, moving on, moving on.
Right. The next, Google restricts access to 17 unregistered crypto exchanges in South Korea at the government's request. So users can no longer install or update apps like KuCoin, Mexi, Polynex. If you live in South Korea and you haven't heard of a VPN, you didn't hear it from me. Um, just the internet safety, guys. Come on. And lastly, we'll end on this one. Ripple's agreed to drop its appeal against the US SEC and will pay just $50 million of the original $125 million
Oh,
fine. There's a little bit more detail about the 50 million at the moment held in the escrow account, generating yield. So the SEC are going to be more than happy to take that away from them. But looks like things are coming to an end with Ripple versus the SEC, which I'm sure.
finally,
I know
finally.
it after years,
That
it
literally
looks
been
like it can
dragging
finally be
on.
solved.
Oh my god, I almost forgot who Ripple were. No, awesome.
How could you
And
forget?
well, this is it. Well, apparently it's going to replace normal banking at one point, wasn't it? I don't. All the banks were buying it. Oh, I don't know. There's been a
Yeah,
lot of BS involved with Ripple over the years. But anyway, Cam, thank
100%.
you so much as always. We'll be getting this up onto YouTube, and Cam's going to be putting it onto his Substack. And we'll get this converted up to MP4 and all of that stuff very, very shortly. Listeners, thank you very much for tuning in. And this is kind of really the second one we've done now. I know Cam did some originally on his own, but we've kind of tweaked the layout slightly. So hopefully we've given you some value this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are, and also maybe even a chuckle. I don't know. But tune in tomorrow and we will catch you then. Goodbye.
See you later.